All right, let's begin the construction of our curved plackets. Regardless of what option you choose, you will have two of these. They will be labeled different for the zipper version and for the others, the toggle button and no fastener version. But you will still assemble them the exact same way. So place two of your curved plackets right sides together, and you're going to clip on the outer curved edge, as I have already done so on here. After you've clipped it, you're going to take it to your machine and stitch along that outside edge. So here are my plackets. You can see I have turned them so that they are wrong sides together, so the right side is out. And I have gone ahead and finished the raw edges. So your placket is not stitched closed. You can still open it, but the raw edges are serged. It just makes for an easier, cleaner finish at the end if you do this. Now go ahead and set those aside and get your bottom band pieces. So your bands do have a slight curve to them. You'll want to put them right sides together, and your curved piece can be at the bottom. You can see mine slightly curving up. So right sides together, go ahead and clip or pin the bottom and you'll stitch them. I will also go ahead and finish the raw edges by serging them. And now we've got our bottom bands stitched together. They are not stitched closed. You can still open it. I have gone ahead and serged my raw edges at the top. Make sure you do not stitch it closed. What you're going to do is open it so that it is laying flat, right side up. And then we're going to attach the our curved facing, our curved plackets to each side of this bottom band. So let me lay it out for you so that you can actually see what it will look like, or it's supposed to look like when it is finished. So you would have your curved placket closed, so it's wrong sides together, it's not laid out flat. And then your band will also be closed, so it's just one, it looks like just one piece. And then your other curved placket goes like so. So this is what it will end up looking like. So you're going to open that bottom edge of those curved plackets and open up the bottom band so that they are right sides together. You're going to pin or clip that outer edge and then go ahead and take it to your machine and stitch down that side. After you've stitched those plackets and the bottom band together, this is what it will look like. Go ahead and set these aside, and we are going to move on to attaching our front bodice pieces to the back bodice. Place your back bodice so that it is right side up, and you're going to get your front bodice pieces. You'll have two. Place them so that they are right sides together with that back bodice. We're going to sew the side seam. So after you place them together, make sure your pockets are out of the way. Everything is out of the way. Pin or clip starting at the armpit and all the way down to the bottom hem of your bodices. And then take it to your machine and stitch those side seams. Now that our side seams are stitched, as you can see, I've got my bodice and my front bodice and back bodice opened here. This is my back bodice and my side seams right here. You're going to get it ready to attach the curved placket. And now you'll be doing this whether you do a zipper option or toggle button or non-fastener option. So the only difference will be there will be an extra placket piece there for your zipper version. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to start by turning my bodice so that it is wrong side up so that I can close my front bodice pieces in. You can see my side seams here. Um, Go ahead and close those so that you can start clipping or pinning your your curved plackets to this. Now remember, if you're doing the zipper option, you will have that extra placket on one side, and your front bodice pieces will not look exactly the same. One is wider than the other. So let me show you real quick. Once your plackets are attached and they are folded closed, this is basically what your Genevieve will look like. Remember, you are not stitching these plackets closed. You're only stitching one of the edges to your front bodice pieces. So go ahead and place your front curved plackets right sides together with your front bodice pieces. Start pinning or clipping right here at the top, and you're going to work yourself all the way down to the bottom, around the bottom band, and up the other curved placket. And again, this is exactly the same for any of the options that you choose to make. One thing to note here, you will have to ease in that curve. So just, ease it in, pin it, clip it, whatever you need to do, and take it easy when you're stitching right there. After it's all pinned or clipped, go ahead and take it to your machine and stitch all the way around. I know how much most of us like to press our garments, but this is going to be a very important part here. As you can see, my placket pieces are attached already. There's my back bodice, and I've got my side seam here. My front bodice is right here. You're going to want to press the seam allowance towards the placket piece. Remember that at this point, your placket and bottom band are not sewn shut. They are still, you can still open it and lay it flat. Now let's do our wrist cuffs. You've got two. You're going to take them and fold them so that they are right sides together. Pin and clip the edges, and then you'll take them to your machine and stitch. After you've stitched your wrist cuffs, you're going to just set them aside and we're going to move on to our sleeves. So you want to fold your sleeve right sides together. Make sure you're matching up the side seams, and you're going to pin or clip all the way down that edge, and then you'll take it to your machine and stitch and repeat with your other sleeve. Now that both our sleeves are stitched and our wrist cuffs are stitched, you're going to take your wrist cuff and place it raw edges and right sides together with your sleeve. Go ahead, pin or clip them, and then take them to your machine and stitch. After you've stitched your cuffs to your sleeve, it's time to add the sleeves to our bodice. So you'll see I've got my bodice here. Here's my arm side. My, my sleeve is right here, and we're going to place it right sides together with our bodice. So you're going to take the armpit, and I have marked the back of my sleeve here just for ease. And I will take the armpit now and match it so that it is right sides together with the armpit on the bodice. After you do that, you'll continue pinning or clipping up both sides, the front and the back. Once your sleeve is completely pinned or clipped to your bodice, take it to your machine and stitch and repeat with the other sleeve. Just like that, our sleeves are attached. So now we will move on to attaching the hood to our bodice. Remember that as of right now, our placket pieces are still open. They are not sewn shut. So get your hood, and what I like to do is stitch the bottom raw edges together so that when I'm attaching it to my bodice, it is much easier because you know that those will not separate and make you do it all over again. All right, now that we've stitched the bottom raw edge of our hoods, it's time to go ahead and line it up on our neckline. So I find the center back of my hood, and then I'm going to go and find the center back of my bodice. Put a pin or a clip on both, because then you're going to align those right sides together. After you line up the center back of your bodice and the center back of your hood, you're going to line up the front edges. So this is very similar to our Caroline placket if you did that. You want to line it up with that curved placket right there at the center. You're going to sandwich your hood in between the placket pieces, and then you'll stitch it and continue all the way around to the other side, doing the same thing to the other side of the hood, sandwiching it in between the placket. Once it's sandwiched and before it's permanently stitched, take it to your machine and baste those edges of the hood so that when you are stitching the plackets closed with the hood in it, it doesn't move. Now that our hood is basted onto our bodice, we're going to continue pinning or clipping that hood along the rest of our neckline. Make sure that you do sandwich the edges of that hood right there. Um, with the placket. So you'll fold it over like so, over over the hood, and you'll want to pin or clip it so that it stays. And you're going to continue pinning or clipping all the way around the hood and do the same thing on the other side, on the other placket and hood. All right, after you've stitched your hood on and you have turned it right side out, this is what you'll have. And if you are going to add a fastener, this is the point where you're going to want to prepare your placket for that. Remember, your placket is not stitched closed. So if you're doing toggles, you will stitch each toggle on each side of the placket. Do not stitch it on the placket. I do recommend adding some interfacing on the wrong side of the fabric at the location where you're going to add your toggles. It's just nice to have that extra stability there for them. Now, if you're adding buttons, then you should add interfacing on the inside of your placket. You definitely need the stability for your buttonholes. No matter the option you've chosen, all that's left is top stitching your placket closed.